This is an instructional video on Cole-Parmer Masterflex LS drive and how to use it. There's a power switch on the back. It requires 110 volts of power and no compressed air. So this is the main screen that comes up. We are going to go into the upper right hand corner into this little wrench, which is going to be our settings. If I press enter, that'll take me into the setting mode where I can set all of the different features about the machine. So the first one says flow units. Let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. So if I go into flow units, I can select that I want milliliters per minute. Press enter. I can go into tubing size, which is the next one down, and then I can select that we're using number 25 tubing size. And press enter. The tubing size is imprinted on the side of the tubing. So if I go into flow rate, currently we are set at 300 milliliters per minute. If I want to make a change to that, I just press enter, and then I can go in and change any of these numerical values. If I press enter again, it'll box select the entire character, and then I can go down to exit. From here, we can go into the tubing calibration. So for each tubing, you will select, you'll have to calibrate it. In order to get 30 milliliters of product, you'll have to calibrate the tubing. This is something you may have to do a couple different times until you get the hang of it, but basically for that size tubing, it's recommending that it dispenses 180 milliliters of product into an arbitrary container. And then what we will do is we will go in and correct the machine to calibrate the tubing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dispense into these two other containers here. I'm going to press the foot pedal or press enter on the start screen. What it's going to do is it's going to dispense what it thinks is 180 milliliters of product. And then I'm going to measure the product that it actually dispensed and make a correction. So now I'm going to pour this into a graduated cylinder. And it looks like I am getting about 180 milliliters of product. So if I had gotten a different number, what I would do is I would then enter that value here, and I would say, no, I didn't get 180 milliliters, I only got 160 milliliters. And I would press enter, and then basically it would make a correction factor so that next time it put in a little bit more product to meet my desired 180 milliliters on the calibration. So I'm going to go to exit. I can choose my pump direction, volume that I want to dispense, and then a bunch of other features which are probably not real applicable to most people. So if I go into main menu, I basically want to run on volume dispense mode, which will allow me to put in 30 milliliters of product and get that value out dispensed. So if I go press enter into volume dispense mode, at this point I can go in and set the volume that I desire here. So I choose 30 mil, or for this exercise we'll put 55 milliliters. And I press enter. So all I'm going to do now is put these cups under here. I'll lower my nozzles down so we don't get any splashing. I will hit my foot pedal. And as you can see, I got just a little over 55 milliliters. So what I can do to make the correction is go through the tubing calibration again until those numbers jive correctly. So from here, 55 mil, if I'm getting a little bit higher or lower here, that means I need to go back into my tubing calibration screen and do the tubing calibration again. Sometimes to zero in on an exact tubing calibration or dispense volume, you have to run the tubing calibration more than once.